Hi guys, I would like to do a review of this Scent Crusher ozonic generator that is supposed to wash your clothes without actually getting them with water and soap. But anyways, I've been doing some testing with this thing. Somebody let me borrow one. They're $150 to $200. I really think it's all a bunch of hype. It does impregnate my ghillie suit with that ozone smell. And I think it'll work as a cover scent, just like the Febreze commercial where a bunch of people sit on a smelly couch and don't notice it because of the smell. So we took an old tub, drilled a hole in it for this silicone tubing. You have to use, it's even melted that. You have to use silicone. If you use anything rubber or elastic, the ozone will literally eat it up. I also read an article from the FDA's website warning about using ozone generators inside the house because it can eat the wire, the rubber insulation, plastic insulation on your wiring. Anyways, I put some smelly socks and clothes in this thing and ran it, and you take it out, and once the ozone smell dissipates, they still stink. I don't know how they make this claim that it's going to kill the bacteria and get rid of the smell. I don't find it does. I do find that certain clothes, your coveralls, you cannot use it on your bibs or the shoulder straps. The elastic shoulder straps will literally be destroyed. I put a leaf suit in here, and I think I ran it twice, and the elastic band around the waist was literally dissolved, for lack of a better word. But anyways, if you take a tub, run your hose through there, on the opposite side, put a vent hole right like that. So I can take my ghillie suit, and I will smell ozone in this thing for hours, sometimes days afterwards. So also got a pair of jeans down in there. So you just basically take this like this, put this in the center, and I'll put the veil, which is going to stink the most, right like that. And then we'll seal the tub up and run this thing for, I don't know, 10 minutes. And this ghillie suit is going to stink for days afterwards. They say 10 minutes. I'm telling you, I can smell it days later. But you can't, there's no way to wash a ghillie suit. You do that, and it's just going to be a knotted, tangled mess. It's bad enough just folding it up, putting it in a backpack. But so that's how I treat a ghillie suit. But I really don't think it gets rid of the smells. It just impregnates it with that ozone smell. So I put this thing up for the winter, had run that ozone, put it in the box, and the next 9 months later, I opened it up and I could still smell the ozone. But anyways, you just take your Scent Crusher, turn her on, tell it 10 minutes, and leave the room. Okay, here's a pair of socks that I've worn twice inside my muck boots, and they need to be laundered. They stink. Anyways, put them in the Scent Crusher, run it for 10 minutes, pull them out, shake. They smell like ozone when you take it out because all these fibers are impregnated with the ozone. But once the ozone clears, they're going to start stinking again. There's a nice article on the FDA about using ozone to kill bacteria. And if it does kill the bacteria, it's only a matter of time before the bacteria starts growing again because the body oils are still in the fabric. And it's our body odors, or body oils, that actually makes the scent that the deer can smell. Using it as a cover scent, I'm not a big fan of cover scents because animals smell in layers. We smell the overall smell of something. Think about a McDonald's Big Mac. We smell a McDonald's Big Mac, but a deer and a coyote smell the bread, the meat, the cheese, the lettuce, the tomato. They smell in layers. I just don't think a cover scent actually fools a deer's nose. But anyways, putting an ozone on a dirty sock is not going to get rid of the body oils and the salts that are inside the sock from the sweat. So anyways, I believe it's a bunch of hype. I do continue to use it on a ghillie suit because that's the only way you can treat a ghillie suit, because you sure can't put it in water in a wash machine. So if you want to spend $200, go for it. But I think it's all hype. And I don't think that it kills the scent. It just covers it. Another test. When I called the company skeptical about whether this really works or not, because I still smell the smells, and they're like, oh no, it works. It'll even get rid of perfume. Okay, here we have a sample pack of perfume. We're going to see about this. We're going to put this right there, just like that. And then the granddaughter's been outside playing, and smells like outdoors, and like a kid. So we're going to put all of her clothes she was wearing outside directly on top of it. So that should, in the smelly socks we ought to put in there. And we'll seal her up, and we're going to run this so-called Scent Crusher for 30 minutes and see if it really works as advertised. There we go. We'll be back in an hour. Said let it air out twice as long as what you run it. So okay, we're back an hour later after we ran it for 30 minutes. I came back, let it sit for an hour, open the lid, wait another hour. Moment of truth. Yep, still stink. Perfume still smells like it smells like perfume with ozone is what it smells like now. So, if that doesn't kill that, how's it going to kill? How's it going to get the dirt? Anyways, I don't believe that it kills I don't believe it crushes scent. So I do impregnate my ghillie suit with it, and what I do is I put my ball cap and my veil directly over top of the output, which is going to go right there, and then I will throw the rest of the ghillie in there like that, and we will seal it up. And we're going to treat for 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, if you leave it in that container, a week later when you open it, you'll still smell ozone. Okay, moment of truth. Open it up. Thing is, when you put it in a sealed container until oxygen gets to it, oh, it stinks. We're going to have to come back and let that air out a time. Whew, man, ozone smells strong. What I do use it for is a cover scent. This ghillie suit, I wore it hunting yesterday. It was treated for 10 minutes inside this tub and then let the air out. Then it was carried in a backpack, and I hunted for almost 12 hours, and it still reeks of ozone. So maybe it does work as a cover scent, but I am super sensitive to it, and they did tell me when I called tech support that things like coveralls, you've got to a lot of times put them on and wear them to move them around to get the air to come out of it. And what happens is that ozone impregnates into this yarn, and it takes movement for it to come out. Here it is 2 days later, wore it outside in the woods for half a day, and it still reeks of ozone. So that's the only way I can see that it works. So I use it on my ghillie suit and a couple other things you can't put in a wash machine. But here's another example of what this Scent Crusher Ozonics, or no, Scent Crusher, whatever it's called, how it can destroy your gear. My ghillie suit, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a little tiny rubber strip that goes around the front, and see how it is literally dissolving it. And when you buy this, and in the instructions, it will tell you that the ozone will literally dissolve and attack the rubber. So I don't know if you can see this, but before long the threads will come out too. But it is just, the ozone attacks the rubber and just dissolves it. I have a leaf suit, which I don't hardly wear anymore because there's no leaves on the tree. What's the point of wearing a leaf suit? But I do like my ghillie, and the main thing with the ghillie suit is to break up your outline between your head and your shoulder, and this ghillie suit works absolutely great. I think I bought it for like $40 at Rural King. I know it's a cheap one, but I've killed many deer because of this ghillie suit. But I just wanted to show you what it does to the rubber. And I would never use it on expensive rubber boots. But my leaf suit had an elastic waistband, and I think it was 2 or 3 treatments, and it destroyed it. It's no longer elastic. So I would never put a pair of socks that have an elastic waistband in there, or they're going to be awful saggy. So make sure you're using some socks that don't have elastic, something else. So there you go. But how else do I treat my ghillie suit if I don't use the ozone? Because I just don't know what else to do. Because I sure can't put this in the wash machine. It'll be a one tangled mess. But I'll put it in here, seal it up. But if you read the directions, it'll tell you right in the directions, don't put any type of rubber. I did call them after I bought it, and the only way to put bibs in it, they warned me about putting bibs, the shoulder straps. They told me to let the shoulder straps hang outside the container and try and put a trash bag and seal it as tight as can be. Another thing, if you don't, natural rubber is attacked more than anything with ozone. If you don't believe me, put some rubber bands in there and see what happens after 2 or 3 treatments. They also have a car came free with this. The guy that told me that's letting me borrow it, is it came with a free car deodorizer that you plug into the cigarette lighter. And I questioned him about that. What's that going to do to all the rubber and everything inside the car? But you can run this on that ghillie suit in that tub, and the only opening is right there. And days later, you can still smell the ozone. Once you run this, it's got a fan that pumps this full of ozone, and until you open it and let oxygen in to break the ozone down, it'll retain that scent for days, not weeks, until it gets air to air out. And all those little fibers and the ute threads hold that ozone. And they also told me that when I called them that the coveralls, bibs, if you put them in here, sometimes you have to wear them to push the ozone out, because the ozone gets trapped in between the layers and it just doesn't freely come out. He also told me I'm extremely sensitive to the ozone because I can smell it for quite a long time after it runs. It's not just run, air it out. They tell you to air it out twice as long as you run it, so I'm fixing to run this for 10 minutes. And so they say to air it out for 20 then if you ran it for 10. But I'm telling you, I can smell it hours later. So we're going to set it for 10 and let it go. And I will leave this in this container until I go hunting again. And this is mainly what I use the Scent Crusher for, is for my ghillie suit. And the guy that gave me the unit, I think he paid $200 for it. He saw that he didn't think it helped one bit.